So thank you all for taking time out to join us. This is a great speaker and a great topic. I remember when I was a little kid, my daddy used to say, if you can sell, you can feed your family. But you don't always have the right mindset to sell. So today I wanted to introduce you to Belanie Dishong, who's the founder and CEO of Live It Choice and Live It Choice Coaching Academy. Belanie's an international speaker and author. She's an expert in the field of personal and professional development, transformational workshops she puts on, and a course leader who serves an international audience. Through Belanie's own personal trials and successes, she has developed unique programs that have afforded thousands of people the opportunity to live a more abundant life, both personally and professionally. And I know that's in her bio, but I have had the pleasure of being with Belanie in my network and action group for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've seen it lived out in many of the members' lives who are lucky enough to be in the group with her. For the last 24 years, Belanie has provided programs that have afforded thousands of people the opportunity for greater loving relationships, career and business growth, and most importantly, maybe financial breakthroughs. Those who know Belanie and her incredible work finally refer to her as the keeper of the heart. So I am grateful that Belanie is going to give us some of her gifts, and I will turn it over to her now. Thanks, Belanie.
Hey, Scott, thank you. And thanks for your encouragement of all this time that I've been a member of NIA. And I have to say, ROI is incredible with this, with your work. So thank you so much for what you've done. You guys, just so I make sure that I'm in the right room with the right people. If you have absolutely closed all the business you could possibly close and you're making all the money you ever want to make, I'll give you the space to go ahead and leave because obviously your mindset is perfection. Did anybody leave? Let's see. I don't see anybody dropping yet. Silly joke, but clearly, what are you doing? What accomplishments are you making? And what I want you to, first, I want to tell you that in the chat, there is a brochure handout, and please feel free to download it because it's going to have a lot to do with how we progress along today. If you choose not to, I will be like reading from it as well, so that out loud, so that you'll be able to follow it. Today's going to be a little different. I'm going to tell you what effectiveness loss you're experiencing because of mindset. So the first thing I want to say is that 80% of sales success in mindset, I'm sorry, 80% of sales success is mindset. That means that 80% of the things you win is coming because your mindset's in alignment at that point in time for what you're doing and looking to accomplish. And anything in any place in your life where you are not getting the kind of results you're looking for, or at least planning to have, if it's not showing up for you, 80% of your mindset is taking you in another direction. So I'm not here to imply that we don't have good mindsets, and I'm not here to imply at all that you're not a positive person or you may not be a positive thinker. Life is that we can be positive 1 minute and that chatter begins and locks us up the next minute. And we don't really understand why. You know, people say to me over and over, I know I'm in my own way, but I don't know what to do about it. So we're going to talk today about some of the things that are results of a mindset issue. So if we move up to that document, the first page that comes up for you guys is my left hand on my brochure. So I'm going to start there with you. And I'm going to say my intention for you today is to see the series of the seriousness of the impact mindset can have. So the questions that are listed there, as I said, to help you along, I'm going to read them as we go. But the thing I want you to know is they are not mindset problems. The questions I'm going to ask you to acknowledge are not mindset problems. They are the results of a mindset steering you in the wrong direction. But they're not the mindset discovery to be had. So first and foremost, when I call them out, if you have had that or still today are dealing with it at some times or another, I want you to put a check mark on that spot because I want you to be able to see the impact as we go through. So first, number one, hesitation in the sales process. If you hesitate to pick up the phone and to make that call, if you hesitate to go to the networking and engage with people when you get there, if you are sitting one-on-one or having a sales conversation with someone and you hesitate to even continue the conversation, to ask for the sale, to ask for the outcome that you're looking for, that is a result of a mindset issue. Number two, so if that shows up for you or ever did, I'm not going to see your paper. Make an honest check for yourself because I want you to see some real numbers. Number two, over-explaining in the sales process. And, I think that all of us have gone through most everyone that we're going to have here. But now, do you hesitate in that and are over-explain in your sales process? A lot of times we'll read a person and say, well, they're not in alignment with me. And then you'll start explaining and going to that reasoning. And then what happens is your effectiveness drops. And so we'll look at the percentage of that in a little bit. So if that's one for you, check it as well. Number two, avoiding high value prospects. That's a biggie for a lot of people. And I was talking to one of my new clients this morning, and one of the things that she said was, well, I'm going to elevate she's in the mortgage business. She says, I'm going to elevate my clientele. I said, great. How long have you been going to do that? And she started laughing. She said, yeah, that's one of the things we need to talk about. But will you go to the biggest person in the whole wide world, the most successful person, and say, hey, we've got something for you with your product or your service or your networking group if you're one of the networking franchisees? So if that's so, put a check mark for yourself. Number two, yes or no determines my sense of success. If a no determines your value, or in other words, you take it personal. If you take a no personal and a yes is I'm successful, look, I got a yes, I made the deal, then you are dealing with mindset issues that are uncovered from your actual day-to-day visual awareness. Check if that's so. And then seasonal business, things are slow. How many of you in your own life, from a business standpoint, say, well, things slow down during the holidays, or the economy's down, so people are not buying like they used to, or anything that affects this conversation about slowed market, things are slowing down, harder to get deals, harder to get people in to even have a conversation with, then give yourself a check mark. The next one, it works. Seasonal business, but those two run real tight together between the market is slow and then the tight budgets. Seasonal business and things are slow fall right in the same category. So either one of those ways of expressing it would be important for you to check. The next one is it works for others, but it doesn't for me. I think if you've looked at a competitor ever and you are having a tough time, surely there's probably one or two times in your life you've gone, well, that worked for them and it's not working for me. Or maybe that also shows up in a frame that looks like this. I'm doing more than this person does. I know more than this person does or this company does. But yet for some reason, I'm not getting the deals. What's going on? Check it if it's yours. If I could just understand more or get more training, that's a big killer, because if you're looking to get more and more education to come off and go to the next level, or to even get started in your business, or whatever is being held back by this, I know I just need more training. That's a really big mindset issue effect. That's the results of a mindset issue. And then too much competition, the market is filled. Check that one if it belongs to you. And then last but not least on this list is we are overpriced and they can get it cheaper. Those of you that might be franchisees out there, that can be you look at the market and people come to us with money things, right? And they say, well, I could do better somewhere else. So here's better pricing and get probably more. Bottom line, these are all the outcome and results of a mindset that is not equating to the kind of results you're looking to get in your business. So first thing I'd like you to do is to take a moment and look at what is your sales conversion ratio. And I'll make it real simple for you. Some people track ratios, some don't. Bottom line, how many people do you talk to and how many people buy? That's one level. There are multiple levels. Some of it's profitability, but this is simple. How many people do I talk to and how many people do I actually sell? That would be this level of conversation conversion ratio. Now, you may have people that you talk to that come to you by referral, and that'll be might be a higher value of conversion than what if you're out there doing all of the cold work. Then yes, if you want to measure the two separate, it's still the bottom line. How many do I talk to, and how much do I convert? And so so write that number down, because what's happening in the stuff that I've just covered on the list is this. Those are results of a mindset conversation. One, it stops you from taking action. Every one of those I read out will stop you from taking action. Number two, it creates self-doubt, which actually then begins to impact your future attempt to do sales and closings. And number three, it diminishes your effectiveness. So let me take a moment and run down these numbers with you, because what I want you to see is the drop in your effectiveness, especially if you've entered your conversion ratio. So if you check number one, hesitation in the sales process, if that's a reoccurring situation for you, you will drop your effectiveness 20 to 25%. Number two, overexplaining in the sales process diminishes your effectiveness in the close by 15 to 20%. Number three, avoiding high level or high value prospects, that will drop your effectiveness 15 to 20%. Yes and no, determining your like how good you are or your own self-worth and what you're doing is a 20 to 25% reduction in effectiveness. And then this market is slow, that's 10 to 15%. Seasonal business, 10 to 15%. It works for others, but not for me, 10 to 15%. If I could just understand more and get more training, that will be a 10 to 15% effectiveness, because you're not taking the steps necessary, what's causing these effective drops. And then too much competitive in the market, 10 to 15. And the last one is we are overpriced, and that's also 10 to 15%. So watch this. You have now a conversion ratio number. And now you've looked at effectiveness impact. And so in that big blue block, it says impact moment. So even if you close at 25%, let's just take that number. Some of you may be closing at 50, 60, 75. Great. But we'll just take an average 25 to 30%. If that's your close ratio, then what's happening, if you've checked 4 of those sections, any one of those 4 to 5, if you've checked that, then these pitfalls have caused you to drop 12 to 15% in your effective closing rate, leaving money and opportunities on the table. So imagine for a moment what it would be like and what kind of impact would be in your business and in your life if your closing effectiveness were to double. And the reason that these numbers are 10 to 15% is I don't know, and we don't know in this conversation today, which ones of the items. So that's an average effective drop. Okay, so because we don't know which ones you're checking. So take a moment and look at what would my business be like? And what life impact would I have if I were to double my effectiveness? So if you went from 25 to 50%, what would that be like? If you went from 50 to 75%, if you went from, to 90%, what would change in your life? Because that's the importance of understanding the distinction about mindset. This is 33 years this year that I've been teaching and training mindset. And it's not about just improving your thinking. It is literally about making a strategic shift in your thinking in such a way that your results grow on themselves. And the chatter that you hear in your mind that wants to stop you doesn't have any effect. And at enough period of time of understanding mindset, what then begins to occur, you have replaced that chatter with chatter that empowers you to take action. So let's move now into the center section, or the next section coming up. This is you and your mindset owning the mindset of your potential client. So the question is this: what do your future clients / customers believe about you, your industry, sales, whatever it is, salespeople, you as a salesperson? So for instance, and I'm not going to be picking on real estate agents, but I'm going to use it because they jump to the answer really fast in this particular question. And so what I'm saying to you is there is a conversation that you have, and that conversation, if you have it, that conversation is constantly something you're looking to overcome. So you then drop your effectiveness just in a huge rapidness, because you're showing up trying to overcome something that may or may not be true for that person you're meeting with at that point in time. So for instance, when I ask the question to real estate agents, they immediately they can make a list really fast. They think that I make too much money. They think that I don't care about their sales price, that they just want to get the deal so it be sold and they can get paid. They really don't work very hard for their money. What are the things that you know personally that you deal with that your future clients could be thinking about you? Because what I want you to do is to learn to eliminate those. It's not their objections, it's their judgments. And those are very different. But when you hold that's how, emotionally and mentally hold that's how your potential client feels about your industry, you in sales or sales period, that you just want to get the deal, whatever it is, that is sitting you back in your ability to be free to listen, be with, and hear the needs of your potential client so that you can speak to what you're actually there for to begin with. It's to solve whatever problem they have. But if you carry on their conversation when you walk in the door, you will in fact be behind the 8 ball, and you will already be in trouble. You'll already be losing. So take some time for yourself and list those things, because there's not any one of us that isn't trying to overcome some kind of sales judgment about what your industry's after or what your intentions are. Let's get those out where you can begin to get free of them. So there's a section there for you to list that. And how does it influence your energy, your confidence, and your ability to do your best job if you're walking in the door trying to overcome? So for instance, in the real estate conversation, my real estate agent we recently sold our home about 18 months ago. And the real estate agent that we used was an NIA member. And so when she answers these questions, when I gave this conversation for her group and she answered the questions, she says, "What's interesting, Belanie, I I am dodging these questions all the time. And I said, yes, but what's more interesting, what these concerns, I said, what's more interesting is I never once had them. And maybe you're trying to overcome something that your individual upcoming new client or customer, they may not have it at all. Just because they think it doesn't mean this person thinks it. So if you can clean this up in your mindset, then you're freer to be with that person, to be more effective in your close process. Key points of influence: if you buy into your client's objections or the rumors about sales or you've already lost. You're already behind the eight ball. Buying into their belief collapses performance by 60 to 80%. 60 to 80% of your effectiveness is collapsed by those kinds of objections that you're thinking they already have. You have enough of your own, let theirs go, and go to work on your mindset about you about you. The greatest sales edge isn't the script that you have and that you know. It is the mindset that you take. That mindset is going to determine your results with an impact of 80% of your sales process. So now take a minute and look at the next screen. Part 1 is to write down 3 results you've consistently had in sales. In other words, you consistently close sales, and what are they coming as a referral? Are they coming as a hot lead? Are they coming because of the way if you're a speaker, however they're coming, look at the top 3 sales that you've had that are consistent with the way you get them. Because that specific ratio should be, probably will be, much higher than the other closing ratio. It's this ratio that actually causes the first closing ratio to be as high as it is, because this is the cream of the crop on how you get your leads. So write that ratio down. If everybody came to you in that like format, however they come, what would be your conversion ratio? And I would suspect that it'll be higher than the other one. Now, one of the things that I teach people is this thing that I call self-endorsement. And what self-endorsement means is that the moment that you feel exactly the same way when you approach a cold call as you do a referral call, that's self-endorsement. So what does that really mean? So what it means is when your mindset is very clear about who you are, the product or service that you are selling, then you stand in this mindset. So when you get to this mindset, people, I'm telling you, it shifts everything. And the mindset is this: I have, this I'm speaking in your place, I have what I have to offer and to give to you and serve you with. Whatever the product is, it doesn't matter, or the service. But what I have is so important for you to know exists that if I didn't offer it to you, if you didn't offer it to them, you would be doing them a disservice. That's when you are as endorsed in what you sell as you feel you are. And this is the key word: as you feel you are when someone hands you a referral that they have endorsed you with and say, call Kath. Kath, I could just see you there. So it's like, call Kath because she can help you with this. That's one level of endorsement. You get that endorsement, you grab that phone and you don't let the dust settle before you're on the phone talking to them. That's the way you have to be able to be in the cold call. But the only way to get there is to have your mindset solid and on task that what I am, who I am, and what I have for you. If I don't tell you, you get to choose. Like in your own, you have to be that. You get to choose. But I have to offer because if I don't offer, I'm doing you a disservice. That is self endorsement. And when you reach that, bye, bye bye, sorry. When you reach that, you then will see a ratio of closing far grander than you can ever imagine. But it's not coming from ego, people. It's coming from a clean mindset, a mindset that is not creating all of this havoc over in the front that we went over first, but rather a mindset that allows you to be that comfortable, that confident, and have that kind of clarity that no one would ever be offended if you offer because you're coming there with an offer to change things for them. And that's what self endorsement is. Mindset is not positive thinking. Circumstances don't cause results, beliefs do. And one of the things that we teach you is that beliefs are the creator, meaning belief is what creates results, period. Everything in the middle is just the travel to get there. But what you believe will determine what your results are. Not what you hope you believe, but what you truly believe are going to determine the results that you get the benefit of. And when you don't believe, then you will not get the results that you plan to have. Skills matter, but they only deliver if the mindset lets them. Skills matter, but they only deliver if the mindset lets them. Mindset has a guarantee, and that guarantee is your mindset always delivers results. The question becomes, what's the mindset and what's the results you're getting? This doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means there's more opportunity. On the left, you wrote out a sales ratio as a closing ratio. And on the right, you wrote a new one over here in part 2. Imagine mindset mastery increasing by on that between the two, that one increases to the same ratio of close of those people. The way you get that business, it just comes and you just close it and go and close it and go. When they match, your ratio, your closing ratio goes out the roof. Increased sales, increased revenue, and increased profit comes from increased mindset. Impact. Are you ready to stop fighting yourself and start selling with clarity, confidence, and certainty? Imagine doubling your results without changing your product or the service that you provide or the price or the market. That you're the key change that will make the difference in the grander success that you seek in your business. What benefits would changing it give you? Now, I'd like to open up for a moment and see if there's any of you that are willing to have a conversation with me. If there's anything here, any questions you would like to ask, I'm certainly available to do that. And you'll have to get unshy in asking questions.
Yeah, hi. I will ask a question. How do you change this mindset? Is this what you do, like coaching, or because I did really bad on my test. I think I marked I think there's 10. I marked all of them but 2.
Tracy, congratulations for owning that, number one. So that's first step. Second is you didn't do bad on the test. You were honest with yourself. So therefore we have a conversation you can have, right? There's a conversation called what's wreaking this havoc, right? So what Live a Choice does is we teach you what's happening in your mindset. Number one, I built an entire system in 1993 that this changes the way you view your own mindset, and therefore effectively you don't have to increase anything other than be free to make those choices that you want to make. This stuff goes away by itself. We don't address this, we address what's feeding this, and that's the mindset. So we train it. Beyond Circumstances is the foundation course that we have. And that course is either 2 days or it's one-on-one private with my coaches or myself. That's a whole nother conversation, but we do it through training and then support coaching behind it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Thank you. Tracy, Danilo, I can always screw up your name. Danilo,
Daniel's fine.
Okay, Daniel, would you put discoverysession.liveatchoice.com in the chat for me, or it may already be there. You guys, if you want to have a conversation with me, like what fits, happy to have it. This is a free session. He's putting it up, and I will say that there's a lot to be seen in that 1 hour session. It's actually 55 minutes, but 1 hour if that's what it takes for you to see what's really getting in your way and then what's possible beyond that. So Tracy, thank you very much. What's your closing ratio, Tracy, would you say?
Well, if I get the client, it's very high for benefits. I mean, I close like 80% of employees, but it's just getting the new companies on board. So that's probably 25 to 35. It's just, I'm my own worst enemy for sure.
Now listen
But
to
yeah,
that mindset. See, hold on. Can I show you something real quick?
sure.
That's a belief you have. That's a belief. So here's the thing. Every belief we have is supported by something you don't know that's there. We'll just start with that. Every belief you have is, now, there could be a whole bushel of them all supported by one thing. That's the good news, because get to the one thing, all that stuff goes away. So those little, it seems like such a common thing for people to say, I've already forgotten now exactly what you said, but those quick throwouts are beliefs that you believe. And that affects you probably more than anything else, because every belief, people listen to me a minute, every belief you have creates a result. Every belief you have creates a result. The belief that you are successful. So if you're doing 25 to 35% to the corp, okay, and then your conversion after you get to the corp is about 80%, you went from not endorsed to an endorsed conversation right there, right? Get to the corporation lets you in the door, then you're talking to the corporation's people, and you have a higher ratio of conversion, correct? Am I right on that? Okay, great. So that's awesome. What if you could have 100%? What if you had 40% on the front end and had 80% at the door?
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Be huge. Huge. I bet you checked avoided high value prospects.
Let me see here what I checked. I checked them all except seasonal business and overpriced.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Easier to do what I didn't check.
Very good. Very good, Tracy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll book the free 50-minute session. Thanks for the info.
Okay. You're quite welcome. Someone else. Did Tracy give you guys any boost with her share? Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Scott? What's your closing ratio, Scott? No.
I will say, if anybody wants to chime in, you could feel free to unmute yourself. You could do that by holding the space bar, hit the unmute button. We're pretty laxed about how we let people speak in these rooms. So
That's right.
feel free
Just
to
open
let her
up,
rip.
go through. And by the way, I can't see the chat. I haven't looked, but I see there's some stuff in the chat. Maybe it just be all of our stuff. So Jason, okay, not it. Scott says that's funny. Was that it? And don't know where that was. Oh, who's got too much probably in that comment and made too much money. All right. So you guys, that's what I have for you today. And I'm here to talk to you. Click on that link, take a copy of it, put it in the space, put it in your search bar, and book a call. We'll have a conversation because I will guarantee you, if you've checked things, there's a mindset to be improved on. And I look forward to having that opportunity to speak with you.
Right on. Thank you so much, Belle.
You're
Thank you so
so
much.
welcome. You're
And
so
yeah, this isn't your first rodeo here. I mean, you've spoken with us a few times, and I've had the privilege of working with you one on one over the course of a few days, and I'll say that um, just having that experience, even over a few days, even over a couple sessions can really put you on the track that you need to be at. So we can't sing your praises enough here. Thank you for doing this, and I do want to encourage folks to check in with us on the first, third, and fourth Wednesday of every month. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so we can see what's going on with Network in Action. And I want to encourage everyone once again to, first of all, if you ever want to see our calendar, head on over to your account, log in, go to Member Benefits, National Virtual. You will see what's on the schedule. And on the 25th of February, we're going to have Michelle Muir Feast and Alfred White, and their subject being Chances Are That You're Leaving Money on the Table. Followed by the first Wednesday of March, we are going to have our Network with the Nations. Do check in for that. And then in March, we're going to have our Sales Mastery. Once again, sales isn't a monologue, it's a mirror. Alan Bennett and Lisa McLeese Kelly, her presentation, Who, Not How. So check in for all of that. We want you guys to be here. Thank you for always showing up. And Belanie, once again, thank you for doing this with us.
And can I drop a quick commercial?
Sure.
On February 25th, Mr. White, I've already heard him speak. He is not a CPA, he's a tax advisor. And I learned more in 30 minutes about investments and ways to keep as much of your money. It's worth more than your Network in Action dues, I promise you. So make sure you drop in for that if you can. And then I would like to invite anyone that wants to build great relationships to join me on Action Empire on Facebook. That's the name of the Facebook group. It's not about business. It's not about 10X or 30X or $1 billion boardrooms. It's about building great relationships. So I'd love to invite you to join us on that Facebook group at Action Empire. And then Dan, if you will, quickly, we are announcing today, you're the first ones to know about it. We're going for a Guinness Book of World Records on September 9th. We are introducing World Networkers Day across the globe. It's a 24-hour networking event with great speakers who've already started to sign up. Pull that website up, Dan. So if you want to put a save the date on your calendar, we don't expect you to drop in for 24 hours, but maybe drop in for 15 minutes to 30 or 40. We're going to have some great speakers, great chance to network with people. And that is coming up September 9th, World Networkers Day. We're excited about it. And we're going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest running networking meeting in a day. Doesn't that sound like hell? That sounds like a real pain in the arse. But it's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. We're looking forward to it. So I want to make sure y'all know about that. Thank y'all for everything, for your membership. We appreciate each and every one of you and your time. Y'all have a great rest of your week.